Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions. Thank you again so much for our time together. It's a beautiful Monday. God wants to bless all the work of your hands. God's goodness and mercy is going to follow you all the days of your life today. For our devotional thought today, I want to begin to talk to you about God returns when we return to our vows. Let me say that again. God returns when we return to our vows. So I know there are people today that make it sound like it doesn't matter how we live, but this is a relationship we have with God. Vows are not a spooky word. Vows are simply relationship promises. In every relationship, you make promises. Sweetheart, I'll meet you at 5 o'clock in the shopping mall and I'll get you some ice cream. Well, she expects you to be there at 5 o'clock, not 5:15, not 5:30, not 6 o'clock. And if you don't keep your relationship promise, if you don't keep your vow, you're going to find that she acts a little different to you. Now, God makes promises to us, and God keeps all of His promises to us. God tells us, don't make a vow, it's all right. But if you do make a vow, if you do make a promise to Him, God expects us to keep our promises. Now, all of that said, we go back to the book of Judges, chapter 16, and we see some very interesting passages. Verse 20, Then she called Samson, the Philistines are upon you. He awoke from his sleep and thought, I'll go out as before and shake myself free. But he did not know that the Lord had left him. He did not know that the Lord had left him. Then the Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes, and took him down to Gaza. Binding him with bronze shackles, they set him to grinding in the prison. But the hair on his head began to grow again after it had been shaved. Now, if you go back to Judges chapter 13, verse 6, you begin to see that as a Nazirite, his hair was never to be shaved. You are not to shave. Part of a Nazirite vow was your head was never to be shaved. Now, to keep this woman happy, he violated the promises he had made to God. He put what this woman wanted before his promises of life to God. And when he did, he found out that God was no longer there. But his hair began to grow again. And once his hair grew back out, then his strength returned. God blessed him with supernatural strength again. And the principle is this: God returns to us. The blessings of God return to us when we return to our vows, when we return to our relationship promises that we have made to God. Now, I see so many people today, and they make promises. And I'm not talking about just vows to give and pledges, and though I think most of you shouldn't even do those because most people don't keep their pledges. Whatever commitment we make to God, God, if you'll give me my own home, I'll open a connect group there. And you open a connect group, and God blesses you, and the home is blessed, and God is paying off the debt on it, and God is helping you, and then one day you decide, no, I don't want people in my house anymore, and you make your own decision, and you walk away from that relationship promise. And then all of a sudden it's a struggle to pay for that home, and you go, I don't understand, it was so easy before. God was with you before. Now, whatever the relationship promise is, if you've made a promise to God, keep your promises to God. And as you keep your promises to God, and some of you need to return back to those promises. As you return to those promises you have made to God, you'll see the blessings of God begin to flow in your life again.